Just working with our company, you're going to get to work with a lot of bright individuals.
Everyone is open and ready to help you, and definitely big on advocating for making sure that you succeed and reach your potential.
Everyone's goal is the same, to make the best products that we can for our clients and make sure that it is everything and more that it could be.
What's kept me here? Our culture. We're genuinely a very great group of people. Everyone's just always willing to lend a hand.
When I have a suggestion or a concern and I voice it, leadership actually hears me.
As a consultancy, every person has a role and has something to bring to the table. There's just a lot of opportunities here if you're up for the challenge.
Jump on board, be part of the fun ride, because we're going places.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with the blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
Thanks to you. you are truly making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Hey, Indiana. Let's clear the air about vaping. Glue, rat poison, paint. We all know these products contain poisons like formaldehyde, arsenic, and lead. And these are just a few of the chemicals you'll find in e-cigarette vapor. Let's clear the air, Indiana. Don't puff this stuff. Visit don'tpuffthisstuff.com to join the fight and spread the word.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
IndianaSRN is on the air. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Indianapolis City Alliance Championship for this girls basketball contest. Tonight, we are live from Cathedral High School for this championship matchup that features the Cathedral Fighting Irish and the Bishop Chatard Trojans. Tonight's game is sponsored by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Aspen Creek Grill, why go anywhere else for delicious food? Bertner Electric provides quality electrical services in central Indiana. Boilermaker 374, we're second to none in quality and performance. Clean Slate, inspired innovation that moves business forward. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation and everything in between. And the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Watch the best Division III basketball on HCAC.tv, where you always have a front row seat, and follow us at HCACD3. Alongside this fantastic crew of producer Greg Smith, cameraman Troy Darren Gowski, and my partner Craig Cox, this is Clark Chafin. And Craig, take a look at last night's semifinal action. We saw the Cathedral Fighting Irish defeat Covenant Christian in Game 1 by a score of 39-32. In the second game of the evening, it featured the Bishop Chatard Trojans, and they defeated the Heritage Christian Eagles by a score of 56-45, which brings us to this championship game, which these two teams, Craig, just met 2 weeks ago, with Cathedral winning 43-37. Should be an exciting matchup against two rival schools.
It is, and I mean, whenever you get these schools together, regardless of what the sport is, and tonight it's girls basketball, but they are totally familiar with each other. A lot of these young ladies grew up together. You can call them crosstown rivals, but they're really not, as they're only about 5-6 miles apart, if that. And so they're very familiar with each other, and just from about 10-12 days ago, whereas you mentioned, Clark, obviously Cathedral got the best on Chatard's home court, and tonight now Chatard can try to return the favor.
Well, let's go ahead and preview these teams. First, the Cathedral Fighting Irish come in with a record of 9-9. They are winners of 4 of their last 5 games. Head coach Lisa Finn is in her 5th year. Offensively, Cathedral is putting up about 45 points per game, only allowing 48 on the defensive side. Craig, I think averaging about that 10-11 points a quarter. What can Cathedral do to find some more points in the City Alliance Championship battle?
Well, I think, when you look at their scoring, obviously it certainly starts with Taylor Lewis, and then Jada Wilson, obviously, is the other double point scorer. I think a lot of it has got to be is how these two girls can actually get the support. How can they balance out some of that scoring? And it doesn't have to be in loads. When they can bring any girl along that's getting 6 or 8, and you can multiply that by 2 or 3 players, it's really going to give certainly Coach Finn an added punch that they really haven't had to this point.
As you mentioned, Jada Wilson leading the Irish in scoring with over 13 points a game. Senior Taylor Lewis, a Villanova volleyball commit, averaging a double-double with 10 points and 10 rebounds in game. And you got Tiana Guy, who's the 3rd scorer, averaging 7 points per game. It should be a fun one. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll take a closer look at the Bishop Chatard Trojans, as well as get Craig's keys to the game. It's the City Alliance Girls Basketball Championship on IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
To you. proudly standing with us. You are truly making a difference in the lives of our neighbors in need.
Welcome back to Cathedral High School for tonight's City Alliance Girls Basketball Championship on IndianaSRN. We'd like to let you know that this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the expressed written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Clark Chafin, Craig Cox, Greg Smith, and Troy Darengowski happen to bring you all this action, fans. We also want to let you know that you can unleash the power of passion from IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat. Contact us at sales@indianasrn.org to discuss how we can customize a sponsorship package that maximizes your brand and exposure. We are Central Indiana's sports leader. Craig, let's take a look at the Bishop Chatard Trojans record, 12-6 on the season after that win last night. Coach Dan Wagner's in his third year offensively, averaging 53 points a game. How about this defensively? 43 points given up on that 10. They've won 3 games in a row, and that's what sticks out to me, Craig, is that defense averaging only 43 points a game can really be a problem for opposing teams.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, obviously, you know, with what you have in Coach Wagner's team is a lot of grit, a lot of intensity, a lot of different looks. They'll throw some different things at you, but overall they're just very stingy. And, I mean, when you get that on the court and you're keeping your opponent under the 50-point margin, you're really putting yourself in a position where you can win a lot of games.
And they can hang their hat on defense. Defense travels, doesn't it?
No,
it goes to every gym. You can always bring your defense. Let's take a look at some of the impact players for the Trojans. They're led by number 44, 6-foot junior Anna Caskey. We talked about how Taylor Lewis averages a double-double. Well, so does Caskey. She leads Chatard with 12 points a game and 11 rebounds, shoots 53% from the field goal range. Olivia Berzai is a 5'11 sophomore who averages 11 points a game as well with 5 rebounds. And then you have 3 players, Craig, that averages around 6 points. You have Addison Duncan, who's a senior. She's someone that can hit some jump shots and take some pressure off those post play, averages 33% from three-point land. You have Quinn Johnson, another senior, Alex Kendall, a 6'1 sophomore. So you have some opportunities, you have some other pieces to go with those double-digit scores. How can that help Chatard on offense?
Well, I think the biggest thing that you get out of that is just balance. I mean, when you're in a position where you can spread the scoring out, it makes it harder for your opponent from the defensive end because there's more than just 1 or 2 that can be a threat. You know, that's the biggest thing that's been the core of this Trojan girls program this year is just the balance and how, you know, they might not score in the bunches, but when you can spread it out, those 5 or 6 girls that can get 6 or 8 can add up quite a bit. I mean, you know, you look at what you get in the 2 leading scorers at being 23. The bench is outscoring their 2 leading scorers out of the starters. So it's a great thing that you had in Coach Wagner to bring those girls off the bench to make that impact.
And both teams, Craig, have some really good size. Cathedral has Taylor Lewis at 6'1", Catherine Klein at 6 foot. For Chatard, you've got Caskey and Berzai and Kendall at 5'11", 6 foot, and 6'1", respectfully. So it's not going to be like one person can dominate the paint. There are going to be a lot of individuals having to contribute. Keys to the game, Craig, for both teams. What does Chatard and Cathedral need to do to hoist this championship trophy?
Well, I think with any contest of any sport tonight, girls basketball is ball security. Minimize just the turnovers, and I think then it's really neutralizing what the other team doesn't have, and that is obviously with what you have with Bishop Chatard in terms of the balance that we just spoke about. How well can Cathedral make those 2 girls score what they can, but take away the balance scoring off the bench from the rest of them? And then the flip side's got to be is certainly for Chatard is making sure that they keep the ones that score down, keep their levels down and not have somebody else beat you that maybe shows up on a night where they haven't in the past.
We'd like to congratulate the JV City Alliance champion that just concluded before this game. Cathedral defeated Chatard 35-22, so congratulations to those JV teams. as we get set for the championship action. Will Chittard avenge a 6-point loss from December 30th? Will Cathedral continue to play well and win a city championship on their home court? Well, we'll take one last break, and when we come back, we'll meet the starters for each team and answer those questions. It's Cathedral, it's Bishop Chittard, it's the City Alliance Championship, and it's only on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Cathedral High School. Let's send it down to our public address announcer for tonight's starting lineups.
Tonight's city championship game features the Cathedral Lady Anderson officials and are the Lady Trojans. The Lady Anderson is coming Christian last night at the number 1 seed. The Bishop Chicago Lady Trojans, the number 2 seed, with the Heritage Christian in the semifinals. The winner takes home the championship trophy. A medal to the next good luck for both teams. For the Union Warrington, visitors on the scoreboard, the Bishop Chittard, the Lady Trojans. Starting at number 1 receiver, number 2, Addison Duncan. And our sophomore number 10, Alex Kendall. And our sophomore number 12, Olivia Bertha. And our sophomore number 25, Betsy Mercer.
And there you have the starting lineups for tonight's contest. Chittard will go with Duncan, Kendall, Berzai, Tregesser, and Caskey. And for Cathedral, they'll go Klein, Guy, Beasley, Wilson, and Lewis. We're ready for tip-off. Should be a great game. Craig, excited that you're here with us.
Yeah, it's always a great opportunity when they're getting a little bit of feel of what they're going to get here in a couple weeks in terms of sectional play with some tournament action.
And a great crowd on hand as well as Cathedral wins the opening tip and Chittard falls into a 2-3. Caskey clears the rebound, and here comes the Trojans. Berzai on the push. They're going to wave the basket off. They're going to call the foul on the floor.
You see the strong, not only the tempo in terms of the fast break here and getting it down the floor and trying to establish the tempo, but what great attack mode that we had there on the first possession by the Trojans.
Foul is going to be on Catherine Klein. That's going to be her first foul. This Cathedral will be in a man-to-man. Ball in the post to Caskey. Loose ball. Lewis comes up with it, and they'll tie it up, and possession arrow will stay with the Trojans. Caskey's, a double-double machine. Going to expect probably to play through some double, maybe even triple teams tonight. Duncan with the ball. And they'll reset. Tregesser goes to the right. Nice pocket pass to a cutting Duncan. Kind of loses her balance, and there'll be a call for a travel. Seemed like that ball stayed on the right side of the court a lot of times there, Craig.
No, there wasn't any type of shift in terms of moving the defense there.
2-3 zone again by Chittard. Jump shot from the right wing, and it's true. Give that basket to Tiana Guy. And Cathedral strikes first at 2-0. Duncan up top, directs some traffic. Tregesser with the ball. Tries to feed it to the post. It's kicked out of bounds by Wilson.
And unlike the Trojans, the Irish coming out early here, man-to-man, and applying some great ball pressure in terms of making these Trojans make some decisions.
Try to get inside to Berzai. Here comes the double team from the top by Beasley. They swing it across. Jumper no good. Caskey and Lewis battle for it. And they'll say it goes off Caskey, out of bounds.
Yeah, great find there by Caskey, finding Berzai on the weak side. Great look, just couldn't get it to knock down.
That's one thing as a post player you're going to have to recognize. When you draw that much attention, someone else is going to be open, and that opposite look is going to be there for it. Lewis flashes to the high post, misses from 15, but gets her own rebound.
Well, and that's the things that they need to break down the zone in terms of making those high post flashes. Great look, just again, couldn't get it to drop.
Shot fake, here's a drive by Wilson. Nothing there, she'll reset.
Good patience by the Irish here, not seeing the shot that they want. Really, when you're on this, you got to really work the high post and get the high-low game, or getting pin screens and skip passes to break down a zone.
Chittard really communicating well in that zone, identifying cutters as a three from the wing, no good. Nice block out by Berzai, and Caskey comes away with it.
Both teams had some great looks on these first opening possessions, but it's areas where both these teams have struggled at times in terms of their shooting.
In the post to Berzai. Nice cut by Duncan. She'll go up and draw the foul. Really like that bounce pass post feed to that cutter cutting to the rim by that Chittard offense.
Well, a lot of what you do offensively against any type of defense is always going to be broken down into three things, and that is, one, how good is your spacing? Get 15-foot spacing, and then how well are you moving the ball, and then how are you moving your body when you don't have the ball? So player movement, ball movement, and spacing is certainly the key to breaking down any defense that we have. And here on the second shot,
Duncan makes the first. Second one is up and true as well, and we're tied at 2. Here come the Irish. Beasley across the timeline. Over to Wilson. In the zone shifts is Guy. Skip pass to Wilson again. Klein in the post, back out. Good closeout there by Trey Gesser.
Another thing that Cathedral certainly look to do is try to get some screens on the top part of this defense.
Missed screen, as say it goes off of Beasley on the offensive rebound chance. So Chittard will get the ball, and the Irish will extend to a full court man-to-man pressure.
On these types of situations too, you don't want to get silly and create fouls. You just want to add token pressure. Try to see if you might cause a turnover just based on your presence.
Duncan cut off nicely on the baseline by Beasley. She'll get it back again. Down inside to Caskey. Drop step middle into traffic, gets her own rebound. Batted out of there, and Cathedral comes away with it. Beasley on the push, just a touch behind Guy, and it'll be a turnover.
Well, in those types of situations, is a right idea maybe to pass, but maybe not at that moment. What you want to do in the break is continuing to get downhill and go as deep as you can until the defense makes you make that decision. Really never made her defender commit and probably gave it up a bit too soon.
2-2 halfway through the first quarter. Berzai with the ball on the right wing. Here's another cut, and they're using the defensive pressure, allowing them to get some back cuts as Cathedral's in the passing lane. And Chittard with their first lead now at 4-2.
Yeah, and Clark, we just talked about that, is what are you doing off of the ball? So many kids and boys and girls side will stand around and watch the person with the ball. And you're right, Chittard has shown that here early on, is moving without the ball with a lot of flash and backdoor cuts, and it's certainly paying off here early.
Skip pass, a little miscommunication as to who that was for. A couple of Lady Irish in the area, and they're going to call a timeout. A 30-second timeout will let us tell you about Officially Human. Our mission is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the fields and the courts. Thank you to our officials, because without them, we don't play. Sportsmanship is everyone's job. Thank you to Officially Human. And we look at the score, Craig, 4-2 with 3:39 left to go here in quarter one. Not a whole lot of scoring, really defense dictating what's going on so far in this contest.
Yeah, it has early on, and then I think Coach Finn has a great timeout. I think that she really hasn't had a lot of continuity on offense, on the offensive end. A little bit of ball movement. Like to see, they've done a good job of flashing the high post. Would like to see a little bit more screen action on the top of that zone, or even getting pin screens for the skips. But they've had 2 of their last 3 possessions have been on turnovers.
Tregesser brings it across the timeline. Picks her dribble up. And they're going to say that Berzai was on the line as she tried to save it, so it'll go to Cathedral. Good call by the official right there on the sideline, and that defensive pressure forcing a turnover.
Yeah, and those are types of situations. Whenever you can create one at one end, you want to at least try to turn 50% of those turnovers into points. Certainly gave that one back. We'll see what Cathedral might be able to do in regaining possession.
Move against the zone. Here's Beasley. Can't find Lewis. There's a pump by Wilson. She'll drive baseline. Beasley from the wing. That's long. Battle for the rebound between Lewis and Caskey, and they're going to say it's off Caskey. It'll stay here with the Irish.
Yeah, good action that you're seeing here. Obviously, Wilson attacking the baseline, made a good decision, almost triple team. They're getting the looks that they want. They just haven't really been able to knock those down. And so you really got to try to work some of the mid-range game or even the post to try to get you in some type of rhythm.
There's a drive by Klein. No good. Chittard clears the rebound, and they're back on the offensive attack. And a moving screen. Nice job by Wilson to fight over the top of that ball screen. And they're going to call that on Berzai. And that'll be the first team foul for Chittard. Cathedral has 2 team fouls.
One thing that Chittard has done really well so far, too, is just on the help side. On the points of attacks, when Cathedral has got in the lane, has done a really good job of helping out and having right there active hands.
Tregesser with the steal. Goes down the lane and gets fouled on the shot. She will head to the charity stripe. Nice anticipation by her out in the zone as the foul is committed by Abby Beasley. That's her second foul. So Coach Finn looks to their bench.
And Tregesser here at the line for 2. Converts her first one. She's the only one that has scored a field goal for the Lady Trojans, as she tries to convert the second one to put Chittard up 4.
5'8" sophomore eyes the second one. And that is off. Battle for the rebound. She's able to get it. Goes back up. And Taylor Lewis swipes it away. Here comes Cathedral.
There we're getting some of the screen action to get inside here.
Active hands. There's a deflection. Addie Duncan comes away with it. And they will set up the offense. 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. In the post to Caskey. She'll drop step baseline. Can't get it to fall. But an offensive rebound put back by Alex Kendall.
That's Alex's first basket of the game. Again, I think what's really driven a lot of this first quarter as we're approaching the close of the first has again, just been the help and the active hands. But then we talked about on the outset of the opening is that you got to have ball security, and certainly the last 3 possessions has been Cathedral turnover.
Chittard on a 7-0 run. 3 on the way from the right wing. Rims in and out, no good. Beside with the rebound.
Another great look. They're just, again, not getting them to drop, but it's what we talked about earlier in getting the skip pass. Shift the defense to you and then stay accessible to the ball. It's so important when you're on the weak side, certainly of a zone, is staying in the lane. If they can't see you, or if you can't see them, they can't see you either. So staying accessible and open for those skip passes is really key.
Couple of subs for Cathedral. Reagan Gilmore, number 4, is checked in. Also Tatum Triggs just entered the lineup as well. The Irish look for some answers from the bench. Gilmore back up top to Wilson. Ooh, it looked like they had a nice little cross-screen action.
And she picked her dribble up.
Yeah. Caskey with the rebound as Lewis's jumper from 15 doesn't fall. Kendall on the drive. Duncan for 3. It's good.
Yeah, what a great look, too. Good action, collapsing the defense, making them actually bite on the penetration, and her just setting her feet ready. But the more important thing is just knocking that down. So great look, and what a conversion there as they blow open to an 8-point lead.
Lewis flashes again, can't find it. Caskey tries to get a rebound, and they'll say it'll go off Catherine Klein. It's Chittard ball, and Quinn Johnson checks into the game for Chittard.
Well, and this has been one of the things that's impacted really both these teams, but probably a little bit more Cathedral throughout the year, is they're shooting 33% from the field. And so obviously 24 from three-point land, been a little bit better from the line at 61, but they just got to be able to get in a position where we're working some of that mid-range game, try to get to the line.
Shot at the end, no good, and that'll do it for our first quarter of action. Bishop Chittard leads after 1, 10-2 on IndianaSRN.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe offers traditional food like Grandma used to make. A great staff and even better food. Check us out Wednesday through Sunday. Or call ahead at 317-760-1640. That's Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe as the Irish with the ball. As we start the second quarter. Post feed into Lewis. Double teamed immediately. Here's Klein. And looks like Beasley's checked back in with her second with 2 fouls. She's got it on the wing. A little high-low action. Three on the way, it's good. Catherine Klein takes the lid off for the Irish.
And one that was definitely needed. A long drought that they've had. What a great way to spot up and get that. Here's what happens, though. We talk about getting turnovers, for one, converting 50% of those at least into points. But then when you can get stops defensively, you got to come to the other end and do the same. So they've had some opportunities with some turnovers and haven't converted. But what a great job of knocking down the long ball on that last possession.
Cathedral now with possession. Three on the way from the other wing. Off the back iron, no. Johnson tries to block out, and they're going to call an over the back call you hardly see anymore, Craig, but over the back on Taylor Lewis, and that give credit to Quinn Johnson because she had that effort to block out.
No, great job of finding who she needed to block out in her assignment. And then, you know, when you're in that position as Lewis, as much as she is a double-double, 11 and 11 girl, you got to be in a position when you know you have a body, just can't reach. You're going to get called on that 9 out of 10 times.
Rzai on the cut, strong on the jumper. Lewis gets the rebound. Klein will push. Beasley up at the top. They keep it on the same side.
I just like to see them. You know, the top of that zone is so wide. When they get that ball reversal to the point, you got to get downhill and try to make somebody guard you.
Get in the gap. Yeah, get in that
look
gap.
For your kicks.
Beasley, short corner to Lewis. Over to Klein.
Yeah, you got to hit these and get a turnover here. Maybe no. She's safe.
Oh, good try as the ball went through Gilmore's hands, and she stepped on the timeline as she tried to keep it in play. A turnover.
Yeah, they've done a good job of getting the ball to the short corners as well. And when they do that, the weak side wings got to look to dive into the gut of the defense because everything's focused and getting pulled to the ball side.
Well, it's a 2-3 zone. It's not like it's the Bears' 46 defense. They've seen it before as Johnson pulls for three. Rim no good. Caskey with the rebound and scores.
And Caskey, their leading scorer, with her first bucket of the night here in the second quarter.
12-5. Triggs on the baseline. Kicks it back out. Gilmore will skip it over to Klein. And really, the Chatard defense just daring that three-point shot. Triggs double team, throws it out. Klein there to get it.
Well, and you know what? A lot of what Chatard is doing, but Cathedral is allowing is what we call trimming the edge, where they're really just passing around the perimeter. As you get a shot here that comes off, I think this is going to be. Oh, they're calling it off Cathedral. But, you know, when you trim the edge and you're just passing the ball around the perimeter, the defense really isn't ever threatened. You got to do what we call is puncture the defense. Get downhill, make that help side pinch with you to create a double team, and then you got people either flashing or you got yourself setting up for some kicks.
Jada Wilson checks in for Cathedral. Leading scorer yet to get on the board so far as Addie Duncan drives left. Left-hand layup up and good. No one steps up to stop the ball. And Addie Duncan with 7 points.
Well, and that's the thing that'll drive a coach crazy, because it's one thing that the on-the-ball defender got beat, but it's like, where's the help side? You know, if you're on the weak side, you got to play that midline to where you can step over and defend that as we get another turnover.
Duncan gets in the passing lane. Wilson drags that pivot foot. Turnover, and is another substitution for the Irish.
Well, if you're Coach Wagner, you're certainly liking what you're seeing, not only by being up by 9 points, but what you're doing defensively and creating a little bit of havoc to this Irish offense.
Tiana Guy checks in. Tregesser drives the baseline. Good jump stop. They move it around. Duncan thought about a three.
I thought we were going to get some Caitlin Clark action there shooting from logos, right?
She had a notion. Rzai dribbles to the right hand. Nice jump stop. Great defensive recovery by Triggs. Caskey in the post. Gets in a friendly roll. Anna Caskey with her second basket of the quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, when Caskey catches that ball on the post, she always knows what she's going to do with it. It's almost like she's already shooting before she's square to the basket.
Largest lead now to 11.
Short court. This is where you got to dive or look high post.
That was a good quick ball reversal. Guy drives. There's a good swing and a three on the way, just short. Caskey with the rebound. No, lost control. They're going to call maybe an inadvertent whistle.
I think the whistle was correct, but I think he just pointed the wrong direction. He called off of eye.
So no foul called. It'll stay with Cathedral. Interesting that Chittard will go man-to-man with ball out of bounds, but set up in the half court at 2-3. As they're in a man-to-man offense right now, let's see if Cathedral can recognize and take advantage. Here's a flash to the high post. Triggs is off.
Now here's the other thing the Trojans have done, too, is they've really done a good job of limiting the Irish to second chance opportunities. Really been great on the defensive boards.
Caskey with a power drop step to the middle. Draws contact and goes to the line.
I'm telling you, Clark, every time this young lady catches the ball that deep, she is shooting the ball. She's a junior, 6 foot, leading scorer. She's a double-double, 12 points a game, 11 boards, doing the dual work.
Free throw shooting is something that she's continuing to work on, a 43% free throw shooter. And someone that gets the ball that close to the paint and draws that much attention, she's going to take and have a lot of trips to the free throw line. Second free throw by Caskey rims out as well. And Cathedral gets the rebound, and they'll push. Skip past Gilmore. She'll drive right. Triggs from the elbow. That shot's been there. They've had a number of good looks from 15 feet. Haven't hit one yet.
And another one and done.
Unselfish play and pass by Leah Brand. And a basket and a foul.
And it looked like that was Mason on the pass there, where she was uncontested and could have shot the layup, but she actually passed that off there for Johnson to get the N1.
You're right. I'm sorry. It's Mary Mason with the pass to Quinn Johnson. And Johnson converts on the three-point play. It's now a 19-5, 14-point advantage for Chittard as Caskey takes a breather and Annie McAllister checks in. Guy with it on the wing. Chittard again settles into that 2-3 zone.
Another way to shift this defense is just some pass fakes. Really shift them by shifting that ball, try to get them to jump to create more penetration angles or passing lanes as well.
3-point off the front of the rim, no. Mason gets the long rebound.
Yeah, really good decision here. Look to push it, but if you don't have numbers with you, back it out and play for your shot.
Berzai now controls. Nice catch by Mason. In traffic, looks to get rid of it. It's deflected out of bounds, and it'll stay with Chittard. Substitutions. Duncan checks in for Chittard. And Klein comes back in for Cathedral. Zai with the ball. She'll drive to the right. Jump stop. Turn around, no good. Mason with the rebound. She couldn't finish. Neither could McAllister. And back the other way is Beasley.
They got to look for opportunities. You talked about it earlier, Clark, in terms of Cathedral looking for opportunities for transition as they finally get their first post-entry pass really deep there by Lewis to get her first points of the game.
Yeah, I think some transition baskets, run your secondary break off a rebound and get it up the court and get it into the post. That way, as they're going to call an offensive foul on Johnson.
And here's the thing, too, to get you in that break is obviously getting the quick outlet passes. You got to really kind of explode like fireworks with your outlet girls, is getting them high and wide, free throw line extended, and then look to push towards the elbow, but always keeping in mind that the quickest way to advance the ball down the floor is certainly always with the pass and not the dribble.
Love the pass, the dribble. It takes a lot out of me sometimes to watch people dribble. So here we are in the baseline. Klein.
Really like to see them get some more post-entry passes and having Taylor Lewis be able to fight a little bit more for positioning.
Caskey and Kendall checked into that last dead ball. as we're a minute 15 left here until halftime. Skip pass. Berzai plays it beautifully. A 2-on-1. Jump stop up. Too strong. She gets her own rebound. Goes to the ground. No call. Both players are there, and it's a tied up jump ball. It'll stay with Chittard.
Really like to be able to see, again, Taylor Lewis on the offensive end really fight better for more positioning, and for them to, when they catch that ball, especially on the wings, they got to get basket vision, kind of rip the hip, and always look to see what they have inside.
Three on the way is good. Alex Kendall from downtown. She now has 5.
Well, their second 3 of the game as Wilson gets a strong attack, comes up a little short. Going to have a jump ball, which is going to go to Chittard.
So jump ball. And that should stay here with Cathedral, because they may just get the jump ball on the other end. Yeah, Coach Finn, I'm with you. I don't think they switched the arrow because we just had a jump ball on the other end. They'll get it straightened out. And it will be Cathedral ball with 41 seconds here in quarter number 2. Wilson, nice curl.
She's got to hold her post. She actually had a good strong post, and then she came
lost
out
her balance.
Yeah, she got to hold the post a bit longer to make herself more accessible for her teammate on that post entry pass.
Chittard showing that they can play a man-to-man defense well, too. Klein, though, with the offensive rebound and scores. Catherine Klein with 5.
Sure, Chittard will hold to the last shot here and playing for 1. And if you're Coach Wagner, you're feeling very, very good on where you're at. Nice little ball movement here.
Give and go. Tregesser can't finish. Klein 2-1 from half court. Can't get it to go. And that'll do it for the first half. A half dominated by the Bishop Chittard defense. And they'll take a 22-9 break lead into this first half break. Craig, first thoughts of the first half?
Well, I think there's got to be some adjustments that Coach Finn has to make here at halftime in terms of what they're doing offensively against this zone. We talked about it enough in terms of attacking those top 2, getting some pin screens, and then I think, again, Lewis has to be able to position herself on the post, and they got to get her the ball.
Well, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll have a special guest here for halftime. It is the 22-9 lead for Bishop Chittard over Cathedral in the City Alliance Championship game here on IndianaSRN.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience on a great budget. We've got incredible specials, great service. Today's dish that we're going to highlight is going to be our Aspen Blue Sirloin. It is, again, our premium Black Angus certified beef, and we top that with a blue cheese crust. Again, everything that we do here is made from scratch, and it's no different from our steaks. We hand cut all our steaks in-house. So our team back there, it's just an incredible team. Everything that they do, they take so much pride in. They put a little bit of themselves into everything that they do over here, especially since it is a made from scratch concept. We want everybody to come, visit us, enjoy some great food with some great service. Bring your friends, bring your family, come have some great food, have a great time with us with some of the best comfort scratch food.
We welcome you back here to the gym here on the campus of Cathedral High School, and for this year's 2024 Girls City Alliance Championship between the Irish of Cathedral and the Trojans of Chittard. We obviously bringing to you a live halftime guest, and he's one that's very decorated, and we're proud to have on here Athletic Director Rick Strife. I believe I'm not mistaken. That's year 6.
Year 6, yes, sir.
6 and 35-4.
Oh, something in there. It's more than I can count. Yeah.
Stop counting. Well, I'll tell you, we talk about how decorated. I know we're not here to totally flood about you, but we have to obviously pay honor where honor is due. And You've been such a staple in this community and this family of Cathedral. Obviously, Butler, Hall of Fame athlete. And, we talk about decorations in terms of what you've done here at this school. But you can never help say, for our viewers that get sights of this in the gym where our cameraman's going, but for those listeners out there that haven't been to Cathedral, this gym is extremely decorated because we have about 82 state championships, give or take. There's you're running out of wall space, Rick.
Yeah, we are. We're going to have to figure something else out. But it's the nice thing about it is this is a very competitive place, athletically and academically, and people compete every day. And if you want to see somebody get their dander up around here, as you said, make it a race, make it some sort of competition, and that's why there's so many green banners on the wall.
No, and I love it. They're ranging from 1931 to 2022. It's almost like it gets really absent when there goes a year and you don't hang one. It's become a commonplace, and you're so right. I mean, it's been such a staple in terms of the academia that Cathedral has done in terms of discipleship and just being able to create strong leaders in our community, but such a wealth of student athletes that go to the next level, and then even the next one at the highest level professionally. If you would, just kind of speak a little bit about what we came through in terms of the winter the fall programs and some of that success, and then we'll dive into the winter.
Yeah, I had a great run with 6A football, got all the way to the regionals, ended up losing to a very, very good Ben Davis football team, and actually played them very well and had our chances.
Good as anybody.
Volleyball team were sectional champs and got beat by a very good Roncalli team in the regionals. So we've had some great teams. Cross country teams had some really strong finishes. Boys tennis won sectionals for the first time in a long, long time, which was very good. So we've had some wealth of success here in the, not necessarily at the state championship level, but right in the middle of it all.
No, it's great, and I mean, in a lot of ways, I know that's how the outside sources will look at it and say, well, they're not successful if you don't win a state title. And I think that sometimes there's only one team and one coaching staff and one school community that can be pleased with their team, and there's only one. But there's so much more success that can be done from even hanging a banner. Talk a little bit about that, if you would.
One of the things that's kind of our motto in the athletic department is one of the ones that I kind of live by with our with when I coach football was we don't really know how good our teams will be until 10 years from now. And then we'll know how successful we were. And we may have had a losing season, but we've created some great human beings. And I think that's what we're really here about. We're here to create great human beings, and we use athletics as a platform to do it. There's nothing else in the classroom that can teach some of the lessons that are learned on a gym floor or a court or wherever you are on an athletic field. It's you got to get back up, the perseverance, the grit, those things that kind of really get you through life's tough situations can be learned in an athletic field, and that's one of the beauties. And one of the kind of cool things probably people don't know is we're over 1,100 kids and 900 play a sport.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
No, I love that. I mean, coaching myself for 28 years as well, you touched on it in a great way because there's really not any fulfilling thing as a former coach or as an administrator or a teacher, faculty member, where a young man or a young lady can come back, like you say, 10 years from now, and you be able to have that conversation. And you might have a different conversation when they're kids here and you see
exactly.
that.
Oh, yeah.
But then you see how they're articulating themselves, what they're doing in life, the impact that they're doing in terms of paying it forward.
And I think one of the really cool things that has been publicized a little bit, so there's 32 NFL teams, and there's the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, and we have two. Terry McLaurin with the Washington Commanders and Ted Karras with the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think there's another high school in America that can claim that. And that's a credit to those young men and their families, but also to Cathedral High School and helping to create those young men to be who they are today.
No, absolutely. And a great shout out, obviously, to your staff and your faculty administration for just being used as vehicles to orchestrate that. So talk a little bit about going in. Obviously, now that we're in the winter season here tonight with the city championship, got one playing here tonight with the girls' side. Talk a little bit about the boys' side. I know they're 10-0. Have a game tomorrow at Guerin. Coach Delaney doing a great job once again.
Yeah, we're a little beat up right now on the boys' side, but we'll be okay. It's actually a good opportunity for some guys that haven't played very much get a chance to show what they can do. But yeah, Jason does a fabulous job, and you talk about creating young men. He does a fabulous job of helping those young men develop. Again, they're 10-0, and they're winning some basketball games in the process. So Lisa Finn does the same thing with the girls here, and Sean McGinley in the wrestling room. We're doing a great job there. Meg Honor with our boys swimming and diving and girls swimming and diving. They're doing fabulous jobs for us.
Thank you so much, not only for hosting tonight, but the bigger picture, what you're doing and impacting the lives of these young boys and girls here at Cathedral High School.
Paying it forward.
Again, Athletic Director Rick Strife, thank you so much. We appreciate all you do.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Cathedral High School, IndianaSRN. Clark Chafin, Greg Cox, Greg Smith, and Troy Darengowski bringing you all the action in this City Alliance Championship game between Cathedral and Bishop Chatard. Let's take a look at some first half stats. We'll start with the leading team on the scoreboard, the Bishop Chatard Trojans. They're led by Addison Duncan. Duncan with 7 points. Alex Kendall with 5 points. Quinn Johnson off the bench with an and 1. She has 3 points. Betsy Tregresser has 3 points. And Anna Caskey, the leading scorer, has 4 points.
So I get longer.
And let's see, from 3-pointers, they've hit 2 3-pointers, and from the free throw line, the Lady Trojans are 4 of 7. For Cathedral, they're led in scoring by Catherine Klein with 5 points, Tiana Guy with 2 points, and Taylor Lewis with 2 points. So the Irish able to get 7 points in that second quarter. A rough first quarter after being down 10-2, and we get a halftime score of 22-9. Craig, what is both teams, you talk about adjustments for the second half. And for this City Alliance Championship, what do both teams, what do you see as a difference in the second half?
Oh, I think you're Coach Wagner at halftime. It's like, girls, I can't tell you any more than you're already doing.
Right.
The hope thing that you hope for is that they didn't play their best ball. But I think if they can continue to you don't make adjustments, you continue to stay the course with what you did there in the first half. I think if you're Cathedral and Coach Finn, I think it's how you attack this zone defense. I can't imagine that Chatard won't stay in it.
Well, as much success only holding the team to 9 points for a half of basketball, I would say they would stay in it. And a loose ball, it'll stay here with Chatard.
I think the other thing that really played to the benefit of these two different teams' offensive sides of the court is really the activity off the ball for Chatard compared to Cathedral.
Ruzai tries the right side, can't get the ball, and they'll call a pushing foul on Caskey as Beasley gathers the rebound.
Well, and I think Beasley kind of, even though you could kind of think it was going to be called, but at the beginning I didn't know if the official was going to call it. She looked at him and kind of sold it really well too.
That's Caskey's first foul. And again, the Trojans fall back to that 2-3 zone.
So I'd just like to see on this ball reversal is attack the opposite elbow to make them pinch. It's going to leave the wings wide open, and then the low post has to come out and get that and leaves the low post open.
There's a quick ball reversal. Wilson over the top of her head. Nothing there. We'll skip it again. There's a punch in the middle.
That's what you need right there. Great job there by Wilson. Her first points of the game, and to our point, you have to attack it.
Got to make two people guard you, then that way someone's going to be open.
And there's a lot of times, obviously just starting the second half, you just got to chip away with it. You don't have to get to the place where you start pressing and feeling like you have to get it all back at once.
Caskey can't finish at the rim, and here comes the transition opportunity for Cathedral.
Get downhill here. Got to attack that opposite elbow.
They'll settle down.
Go.
Klein in the corner, back to Beasley.
Have Lewis step up higher right here. There she goes.
There's
She's
the
right
flash.
there, high-low. Good.
15-footer, and it's good. That's a shot they missed a lot in the first half.
And she didn't score until midway through the second quarter. Now she's already equaled that within the first minute and a half. And then they're getting a little bit of pressure and now getting another stop here with the Chittard foul.
Yeah, you see a basket going through the hoop, gives you a little more energy to play on defense, and they get the turnover.
Well, and they've got it how? 1 point of attack and then in the high post. So they're attacking it differently, but they're also working the mid-range game too, which is what you want when the outside shot on the perimeter is not following.
That was a foul on number 25 for Chittard. That's Betsy Tregesser. Wilson thought about a three. Drives in the post to Lewis. Loses the ball. Able to recover. And they'll reset.
This is where you create 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s when you attack that high.
A little overload. They get it to the reverse. There's Klein on the baseline.
High post.
Back up top, three on the way by Wilson. Online and true.
Don't look now, Clark, but it's a two-possession game.
And here they come.
Good timeout here by Coach Wagner.
Coach Wagner calls a timeout. It'll be a full timeout. We'll take him with him. The lead now to 6 on IndianaSRN.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Wheeler Mission for 125 years. Wheeler Mission has been a pillar in the Indianapolis community, providing help, hope, and healing to people in need. Volunteer today at 317-686-6239. Greg, the Fighting Irish on a bit of a run here to start the third quarter.
Yeah, on a 7-0 run to start it off, pulled within a two-possession game here. Seeing a little bit more ball pressure, but the biggest thing has been offensively. Is that they've actually got back-to-back stops and they've scored on those, which is certainly what you want, but they've obviously found a little bit of a groove and got a little different pep in their step here to start the second half.
Here's Berzai on the cut, over the head, loose ball.
Make it 3 possessions in a row.
Klein picks up it, and Wilson tries to drive, but picked that pivot foot up and traveled.
And I see nothing wrong, actually. I mean, she just hit a three. There's nothing wrong with transition threes. A lot of times you like them when you have a rebounder, but when you're on a good run, you can explode and get this crowd behind you even more. But still down 2 possessions.
Little diamond pressure now as Berzai tries to drive. Lost it, and they were going to say it went off Lewis.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it looked like that went off her leg, but nonetheless, Stripes saw it differently.
Out of bounds underneath, little screen-to-screener action. Duncan gets her own rebound and gets fouled on the second attempt. She'll go to the line where she's 2 for 2. Foul is on Taylor Lewis, her second foul. Team foul first. Number 1 as Duncan misses. Must be something with this goal, Craig, and not a lot of points so far on this particular basket. Duncan eyes the second one, gets the roll. She now has 8, and it's 23-16. Wilson quickly down the other way. The Trojans go man-to-man here. Cathedral recognizes that. Now they're getting in their man-to-man action. Klein. There's the ball reversal. Wilson Little high-low action, can't find her. They'll reverse the ball. Guy on the drive. Nice show and reverse pivot. Can't get it to go. Caskey claims the loose ball. Look ahead up. Stolen by Beasley. Up ahead. Lewis can't get it.
Yeah, those are ones you got to get. Probably taking that extra dribble and going off 2 feet. Kind of load to explode.
Game has picked up as far as speed. Up and down they've gone the last few possessions.
This is where I'd like to see you look at all the gaps that you have here in terms of the spacing is get downhill and make the help side come and get you. You free up your teammates, but there's just too much passing that's going on without any point of attack.
Klein drop step middle, no good. Caskey with the rebound.
That ball was halfway down and back out now.
They push it ahead. Kendall drives. She'll pull up from 10 and got it. Alex Kendall, the 6'1 sophomore.
Well, you could tell Kendall certainly knew what she wanted to do with the ball there. Nice this downhill attack. Came out of the spin move, ready to shoot.
Nice soft touch. Not an easy shot with a hand in her face from the baseline. Puts the lead back up to 9. Let's see if the Irish can answer. Beasley up top. They'll skip past the guy. And they'll reset. Wilson now has it. Coach Finn giving instructions. We'll go 4 low. Beasley drives to the right. She'll scoop shot. Caskey with the block. Loose ball. Berzai gets it, and they're going to call a foul.
Well, that's the things, if you're Cathedral, either team for that matter, you never want to foul when you're 85 feet from the basket, from your opponent's basket. You bail them out.
Frustration foul, yeah. And that's Taylor Lewis' foul. That's her third, so she'll probably sit the rest of the quarter. Quinn Johnson checks in for Chittard, as well as Tatum Triggs for the Irish. Duncan races it across the timeline.
You get some good ball screens getting downhill. Again, forcing the help to get to you.
Nice spin move. They're going to say it was clean block. Since Berzai's kind of facial expression feels a little bit frustrated as she's attacking, but the ball will stay with Chittard. Here's a lob to Caskey. She gets it in. Anna Caskey, how about that post play?
Well, the thing that made it a little bit easier there for Caskey, and certainly the out of bounds to Johnson, was she did a great job of reading the defense. You actually had Wilson was doubling her up, but she had her back to the passer, and so did the person on Caskey herself. So came right over him. She wasn't able to see the ball. You always want to be in a position where you see your man and see the ball.
And that could be a product of not having Taylor Lewis in there, right?
Possibly,
the front that post, as that foul was on Triggs, who's just 5'9", as opposed to the 6'1" Lewis.
And they extended this to 11 points, and now got a chance to make it a 4, if not a 5-point play by getting the offensive rebound on the missed free throw.
Gilmore checks in for Klein. Not an easy pass.
Another one too.
But that'll be the 5th team foul, and that'll send Quinn Johnson to the charity stripe.
The new rules in effect, which at this point most people are familiar with.
How do you like those? How do you like that 5 foul in the?
I do. I like it. I think in some ways it can speed the game up. I think it also can play both sides. It makes you be a little bit more disciplined on defense, but on the offensive side, it can put you in a place where you get more attack, and I like that. Makes it for a little bit more interesting when you can be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end.
Yeah, you don't have a team in the bonus with 2 minutes left in the third quarter for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's automatic 2 shots at the 5th foul. It resets on each quarter.
Quinn Johnson 3 for 3 from the line and lead back up to 13. As it was down to
6 points.
6 points at one time.
Started off the second half on a 7-0 run, the Irish did. And now Chittard has answered back to grow this right back to where it was at halftime.
Wilson at the top of the key. Chittard now going to the man-to-man defense. Another thing I've noticed, not a whole lot of free throws by Chittard. As I say that,
you're going to get 2 right here.
Going to get 2 right here, but they didn't go to the free throw line at all in the game. And Chittard went 7 times there in the first half, so this will be the first free throw attempt. Tiana Guy.
Well, I'd certainly like to see Cathedral again just put themselves in a position to attack more. I think they're probably a little bit more of the athletic team. Chittard has been able to display that they got really good discipline in terms of the help side defense, but I think overall the girls on the court, I think the speed is a little bit more on Cathedral side and not really using that to their advantage right now.
Second free throw by Guy is good. Duncan tries to get it to the post.
Kind of telegraph that. I always tried to teach when I was coaching is really fake a pass, make a pass.
Yes.
Where the defensive hands are at, fake opposite, and then pass to where their hands were because you expect to stand them up when you do that.
I was on to always kick the ball too. I don't know. I don't know if it's really a great play, but gets a dead ball as Chittard turns it over into post on the transition, and Guy will draw the foul again.
Have 2 more coming here. Still plenty of time for Cathedral to take action here. Just got to settle in. They've been getting opportunities and some stops defensively. Early on here in the third quarter, they really converted a lot of those, and here in the second half of the third haven't. But this is where they got to actually knock them down here as Guy gets the first of her 2.
Craig, what would be your magic number as far as to get this lead down and heading into the fourth quarter if you're Coach Finn?
Oh, I think anything within 6 or 7 is fine. Obviously they're at 11 now, but be ideal to get it to that. But I think anything inside single digits is fair as she hits her second one and makes it a 10-point game. But there's still plenty of time, especially when this can happen.
There's a steal by Wilson, and a cutting Guy scores, and it's 29-21. Coach,
I didn't expect to say that we were going to be an 8 in about 4 seconds, right?
Your wisdom is beyond compare. 30-second timeout. Boilermaker Local 374 represents highly skilled, highly motivated workers in field of construction and metal fabrication throughout the state of Indiana. Start your career with Boilermakers Union Local 374. Call us at 219-845-1000. And we also like to thank the Morales Group. Their mission is to build better futures one story at a time. We acknowledge the whole person and their individual story. Contact the Morales Group today at 317-472-7600. That's the Morales Group. And don't forget, if you want to contact us at sales at IndianaSRN to discuss how we can customize a sponsorship package that maximizes your brand and exposure here on IndianaSRN. We are the Central Indiana sports leader. 1 minute remain here in quarter number 3. Duncan breaks the press, gets across the timeline. She'll drive to the middle. Off the backboard and in. Addison Duncan puts her in double figures.
And big basket and the timing of it too. Cathedral had a 5-6-0 run there, and so it obviously stopped a little bit of that momentum getting ready to approach the fourth quarter.
Coach Wagner changing defenses back to the 2-3 zone. Caskey battling for the rebound off the Wilson miss. Alternating possession will stay with the Irish. Taylor Lewis going to check back in with those 3 fouls. And Quinn Johnson as well. .39 seconds remain. Gilmore as they swing the ball to Beasley. Into the post is Lewis.
Another example there of Lewis being able to hold her post. You're posting someone up like that, shouldn't be able to get a hand on it like that. You got to get high and wide with your hands.
Give him a target.
And she's not only tall, but she's got good length, so she's got to hold her post and be stronger with it.
Offense for defense substitution. Tatum Triggs comes back in.
I will say I'm a little surprised seeing Lewis back in the game with 3 fouls. Hopefully she doesn't get a cheap one before.
Well, and I thought that Triggs might have come in to replace her so she wouldn't get her 4th in this last 20 seconds. Here's a drive. Dragesser can't get it. Lewis with the rebound. Wilson on the push. 10 seconds. She drives underneath the Triggs. Dribbles to create some room and finds a bucket. 2-1. And that'll do it for quarter 3. Cathedral is able to cut into that Bishop Chatard lead, and the difference is only 8 as we head into the fourth quarter on IndianaSRN.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.indianasrn.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We never really realize how much we depend on electricity until the power goes out. Get those lights back on when you choose the certified electricians at Bertner Electric Incorporated. Locally owned and operated, we are a member of the Better Business Bureau and provide only the highest quality of customer service. For more information, give us a call today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Piper Logistics. Piper Warehouse is a group of logistic professionals dedicated on working together to provide our clients with the complete logistics in Indianapolis and Cincinnati. Roll with us. Call us today at 317-396-1023. Piper Logistics. City Alliance Championship between Cathedral and Bishop Chatard as we head into the fourth quarter. Chatard on top, 31-23. Quinn Johnson takes the inbounds pass and picks up her dribble. Versailles is able to clear. Skip pass to Duncan. Trying to get it into post to Caskey. They look. Nothing there.
You got to be careful picking up your dribble when you know you're not going to pass or shoot.
Caskey on the high post. Good drive by her, but well contested and without a foul by Lewis. Here's Wilson. Mid-range game is good.
And she's got all 7 of her points now here in the second half. She's one coming in averaging 13 a game. That last possession, they had Caskey on the post. Didn't know that they didn't make it a little bit more priority. She had great position, was holding it, but didn't find her.
And it was to her strong hand. She had her on her right shoulder. All she had to do was drop step left.
And the second time that they've had it within 6, and I thought they were going to get a stop, but maybe not.
Here's a drive by Duncan, a little contact.
Yeah, good no call, though. I like that. She wasn't as much in control there as you got a transition opportunity.
Berzai on the block on the 2-on-1 fast break.
Olivia Berzai having something else to say about that.
Great job by her with that disadvantage.
Cathedral has a chance to cut it inside 6. Will be the first time that they've had that since the score early on, halfway through the first quarter.
Here's a drive. Wilson, extra step. Good call, Craig.
I think she was in a position where great downhill attack, but then just kind of caught in between of whether to finish or to pass.
And I think a lot of today's athletes, they do that Euro step, but they take a little extra half a step maybe. Johnson on the baseline.
I always like to think, back in the days we were playing the 80s, Euro step wasn't around here.
It wasn't.
But I can tell you that if you could take that move and put it back in the 80s, 98% of the time it'd be called travel, even though it's not.
It's not.
It's just the evolution of the game and how it's changed and how even the game's played. The 3-ball has changed it so much. You don't have really legitimate post players in the paint. They're stretching 4s and 5s out.
Positionless basketball.
It is, without a doubt.
Fourth foul there on Catherine Klein as the shot goes over the rim and it'll go out of bounds, and Cathedral will have a ball again with a chance to get this under 6. Last time it was 6 points or close to it. It was 12-5. Early in the second quarter, 3 on the way. Rim's no good. Triggs with the rebound. Rezai with the block. I think it'll stay with Cathedral.
Yeah, had a good open look. That ball was halfway down.
Halfway down. Out of bounds underneath. Cross screen. Lewis has it. Over to Guy. Wilson on the wing. High-low. Lewis will shoot the 15-footer. She's found her rhythm. She missed
Down
that
to
shot
4.
several times in the first half as we get a foul on the pressure that's down to 4. And the second foul on Tiana Guy.
This is a Cathedral team in the first half that was down as many as 17. So cutting it to 4 is quite the feat here after another quarter.
Good pressure on the press by number 11, Abby Beasley. The 5'8 junior knocks it out of bounds.
For those,
stay with Chittard.
For those that weren't in for our opening set, these two teams played each other on December 30th, just a couple weeks ago, where Cathedral got the win on Chittard's home floor. Now Chittard trying to return the favor on Cathedral's home floor for a city championship.
That foul will be on Beasley, and that'll be the third team foul. It's Beasley's third as well, so Chittard 2 fouls away from going to the free throw line. That means you should be in attack mode.
Well, and it's gone quick. The last 2 possessions, 2 on this one and 1 on the last one.
Lewis with the catch off the Wilson steal.
1 possession game, Clark.
How about it? 31-29 Johnson on the other end. Can't get it to go. A quick shot.
Chance to tie it up or take their first lead of the entire game.
The Trojans back. Looks like now a man-to-man. Wilson shot fake drive, left hand scoop shot, and we are tied. 31-31. Uncle Mo has shifted sides and a timeout by Chittard with 5:02 to go here in quarter number 4. We'll take it with them. 31-31 on IndianaSRN.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.indianasrn.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We never really realize how much we depend on electricity until the power goes out. Get those lights back on when you choose the certified electricians at Bertner Electric Incorporated. Locally owned and operated, we are a member of the Better Business Bureau and provide only the highest quality of customer service. For more information, give us a call today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Passion of Care. Don't miss this chance to turn your compassionate efforts into our rewarding experience. Learn about the SFC and ATTC today and embark on a journey of care and compassion. Call us at 317-537-1811. Passion of Care. Clark Chafin, Craig Cox, Greg Smith, and Troy Darengowski. It's a 24-9 run since the end of the second quarter when Chittard had its biggest lead at 22-7. We are now tied at 31, and it's anyone's ball game here the last 5 minutes.
Well, the other thing that we haven't really talked about a lot, we did with Chittard in the first half, but it's been the tale of 2 halves because Cathedral is doing exactly what Chittard did in the first, and that is not giving up second chance opportunities, and then they found their groove offensively at the other end.
They are hitting some shots. Lewis drives, and she got it. Lewis with 8 points and a half, 10 for the game, and the first lead since it was 2-0 Cathedral. Berzai answers on the other end. Punch and a counter punch.
First points of the game for Olivia. Couldn't have come at a better time
Yeah,
to silence a little bit of the crowd to tie it up.
Double-digit score, her first basket. And as you said, Craig, couldn't come at a better time. Tied at 33. As you can feel the intensity. Crowd is on their feet. Lewis shot fake. Kick to the corner, 3 on the way. Rims it, no good. Caskey with the excellent block out.
The roof might have came off here. Both these teams answering each other now with a 3, but it rimmed out, and Chittard has a chance to take the lead back.
Tregesser drives, picks it up. Caskey can't get it. Ball on the floor. Jump ball. And possession arrow says it'll go to the Fighting Irish. Substitutions for the Trojans. Looks like Addie Duncan's checking in, as well as Alex Kendall.
Well, you got 3.5 minutes, Clark, for the rights of the 2024, the rights of this chip.
Guy with it on the wing. She's had a big second half as well.
Well, Luce has done a great job here in this second half of attack, and she certainly looks to be what she's trying to get a little bit more of an ISO, or perhaps stepping out one of these post players and getting a ball screen.
Little horns action as they go to the wing. Beasley guarded closely. They're swinging around. Triggs finds Lewis.
Put it on the deck here and look to attack. She's stretching Caskey out. I think that's an area where Lewis, from a footwork standpoint, might be able to take her a little bit more off the dribble when she gets her stretched out on the perimeter. Nice back door.
Nice back door left-hand finish by Jada Wilson.
She's now got 11 all in the second half. She's come up big.
Razai, left-handed scoop shot. No, but she'll draw the contact and go to the line.
Yeah, great job by the sophomore Olivia Brazai. Again, Clark mentioned the last particular possession as Lewis gets her fourth foul there. But she averages 11 a game. Just got her first basket a couple possessions ago. First trip to the line with 2 here. We'll see what she does here with the first.
Lewis has to be careful now as with 4 fouls as Brazai knocks that free throw down.
Well, with 2 minutes to go, too, you got to
keep
leave her in there.
She's played really well this second half. 8 of her 10 points coming in the third and fourth quarter as Brazai eyes and fires, and it's good.
Now got 4 for the game, 2 of 2 from the line. And we're deadlocked right now with about 150 seconds to go. Getting a timeout here by Coach Finn and the Irish.
Timeout by the Irish. It'll be a full timeout. We'll take it with him. We're tied with 2:27 remaining. Come back and don't miss this one.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Fans, this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Crunch time, 2:27, Irish ball, nice timeout by Coach Finn. Cathedral, you see on the screen, has 3 timeouts remaining to Chatard's 2. And let's see what Coach Finn drew up during that timeout. Triggs will receive the inbound pass. Little trap, Beasley has it. High post to Guy, and they're going to call a foul on Kendall.
And just their first one of the quarter.
Really not a bad foul if you think about it in terms of
if you feel you're beat, yeah.
And in terms of even if you may have to extend the game the last 2 minutes to get some possessions. Inbound the half court to Guy. She's guarded by Kendall. Man-to-man defense this time by Bishop Chatard.
Like to see some ball screen action. Chatard has shown it a lot. Cathedral's not shown much of it at all tonight in terms of any type of ball screens. Really relied a little bit more on their speed and athleticism to take their defender. This is a silly foul here. Not certainly needed. She's not in scoring threat. You don't need to belly up on her because she has a dribble. You only want to belly up when they pick that dribble up and then just ball shadow. But just got a little bit too tight to her and an unnecessary foul without being in scoring threat.
Kendall will go to the bench with her second foul, team foul number 2. Quinn Johnson checks in.
Under 2 minutes.
Guy with the ball. run their offense again. She'll get a ball screen, throws it to Beasley.
And they don't need to be in a hurry, but you also don't want to be in a position where you take yourself out of the rhythm that you've created in this quarter. So you still want to be in attack mode. As you can see here, Wilson certainly is.
Can't get the left-handed scoop to fall. Caskey with the rebound.
Well, and this is going to be interesting to see if Coach Wagner just tries to play for the last one unless he gets a great look down low.
Duncan thought about throwing to Caskey. She'll reset. She drives the lane wide open. Can't get it to go. And it goes off Triggs' hand. Oh, what Addison Duncan would have loved to have back.
Yeah, that's one that you
The Red Sea parted.
That's the look that Coach Wagner did want. And then not only that, when it caromed off, two Cathedral Irish girls actually had a chance to wrap that up and couldn't, giving Chittard another possession.
Still by Klein in the backcourt. She will push it up. Lewis runs with her and draws the foul. Nice recognition by Taylor Lewis to not settle after that steal, but get in transition, fill the lane. Good look ahead by Klein. And Lewis will go to the line.
Yeah, and she's one that shoots 63%. And you really want to get certainly both of these instead of make it a one-point game. The Villanova volleyball recruit knocks down the first. She's had a big second half, Clark. 9 in the second half, 11 for the game. It's a big one here to where you force them to either get a 3 to take the lead or at least to lock it up and maybe have the last possession.
Second free throw on its way. It's true. 2. And a timeout will be taken by Chittard.
Yeah, 2 really big free throws there by a 66% free throw shooter. They're 61% as a team, and only their second lead of the entire game.
And Cathedral will take that timeout, so 37-35. A big second half run by the Fighting Irish. And, hey, credit to Taylor Lewis, the 6'1 senior, stepping up after only a 2-point first half. As you mentioned, now in double figures, as well as Jada Wilson and Tiana Guy. 3 of their main scorers have done the workload here in the second half. Guys had 5 points on 3 for 4 from the line in the second half. And Wilson, all of her points have come 11 in this half as well.
Yeah, both these teams have had some balanced scoring. Chittard has 6 in the scoring column. Cathedral has 5. Here's the thing, I think if I'm Coach Wagner, and I'm certainly not, is I'm not trying to be in a big hurry to get a basket.
Yeah, how soon?
However, I am going to try to maximize. I want to be aggressive. I want to get my ball screens. How they did in the first half is moving off of the ball really well, got them great success. So I'm really trying to maximize my possessions and trying to get a shot within the first 15 or 20 to give me an opportunity to get another opportunity if I miss on the first one.
Are you looking for a 2 or 3 or whatever good shot you get?
I think whatever one I get, but I'm all about tacking and getting downhill. And not only that, they're in a shooting possession.
Verzai can't get it off the spin. Caskey with the rebound.
Draw foul.
Gets it back up. And a Caskey with a strong move. We're tied at 37 with 30 seconds remain.
Now, if I'm Coach Finn, I'm playing for one. I'm either going to overtime on my home floor or I'm walking away with the hardware.
Wilson with the ball, one-on-one with Duncan. Drives, good help by Johnson.
It's too early. You go with about 8 or 7 and hope for a chance with a putback.
And she will.
Good
call. Travel.
Good call. It's a good call.
Now 11.1 seconds. Let's get, Coach Wagner says he'll take a timeout. And a Bishop Chittard timeout. Full timeout with 11.1 seconds. Now, Craig, 37-37 if you're Coach Wagner. Plenty of time to execute. Will you face a press? What are you trawling up here in the half court?
Yeah, well, one, I would not try to full court press. I would be more 3/4 just on the balls. Make them inbounds this in front of me
you. Yep.
And just give very token pressure to try to get them in the offense more full court, which takes off about 3 or 4 more seconds. What I would actually do, though, if I'm Coach Wagner, is I get the ball across the timeline as quickly as possible and call another timeout. Try to save as much clock as you can, and then go at it with about 8 or 7 with a ball screen, looking to get downhill, having the help come, look to get a little kick, or continue to attack and hope for the best. Because, again, Cathedral can't get too aggressive because they're in automatic shooting. It's automatic 2 shots. So if you're Coach Finn, you got to warn your players is you got to keep them in front of you, and you got to be in a position where it's just guard your yard, token pressure. Don't reach. I really don't like the idea of having too much of this in the full court realm of the defensive end.
Seems like Berzai's been able to get to the basket, and you got to pay attention to Caskey on the offensive rebound.
Yeah, she's really good here, but you cannot foul. And here I'm getting a timeout. Got to get a timeout. Got to get a timeout. You got one.
1.4 seconds. Yeah. The pressure made the turnover.
You probably had about 2 to 2.5 seconds that went off that clock. And, that's another thing in the last timeout is saying, hey, if we get a turnover, you got to call timeout immediately because we got to maximize the clock. Now you got about, I think the ball's being taken out on the sideline, not the baseline, or it should be. If not, you got to get this baseball pass down at least 3/4. You got time with 1.4 to take 2 dribbles.
Yes. And if you can get Wilson on the run going to the basket, you like your percentages much, much better. I thought that was a great coverage by the Cathedral defense there on the press. Didn't foul and made Dresser throw a very difficult pass. Took them out of what Chittard wanted to do there in that set in that final 11 seconds. So 1.4. Ball will be taken out of bounds underneath the basket.
I like this type of scenarios to where you actually start your ladies more towards half court. So you give much more of the court to work with and run them around to the opposite side on the run. But we'll see if Cathedral puts. But I don't like actually putting somebody this close to the baseline. Well, they are. I'm sorry. They are putting them back. So that's good on Cathedral's part. It just gives them more of the court to work with.
More space.
You want to try to get it to your teammate on the run. Keep in mind, she can't move.
Guy will take it out. She'll throw it to half court. Duncan catches it. Half court heave! Online, just a little short. And how about some overtime basketball for the City Alliance Championship? We'll take a break and come back and bring it to you on IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Cathedral High School. IndianaSRN bring you overtime for the City Alliance Championship between the Bishop Chittard Trojans and the Cathedral Fighting Irish. We look at the second half, Cathedral outscoring Chittard 28-15, flipping that 13-point halftime deficit into a tie game. As we go to overtime, we'll play 4 minutes. We'll jump it up and get set for some overtime action. Obviously, Craig, Cathedral with all the momentum right now. So even in the foul situation, Taylor Lewis with 4 fouls.
Well, and I think this was one too. Not to say that the Cathedral community is ever going to quit, but I think that they thought it looked very bleak after being down as much as 16 in the second half. And what a great fight by this Lady Irish. team and got their community back into it as much as Chittard was in the first half.
Both student sections standing up as a drive by Wilson's no good. Caskey with the rebound. Tregesser will bring it up. Berzai thought about three. She'll drive. Avoids Lewis and scores. And she wanted that ball. You could hear her clapping, Craig.
She wanted it early for the three. And then once it did finally come, she decided to boycott that and attack. So really good player and only a sophomore. Coach Wagner has her around for a couple more years.
3 minutes now left. 2-point advantage by the Trojans. Guy bounce pass to Klein. Looking for some help. She'll get it. Now she'll drive. Floater from 12 feet and the bank is home. Banks it in and we're all tied up at 39. Quickly the other way. Kendall can't get it to fall.
Guy scoring her 9th point of the game. And Kendall attacking. She'll go to the line to try to make it her 8th and 9th point at the line.
Way to attack the pressure and attack the press. Chittard looked to break that press and try to get an easy basket. Alex Kendall hits her first free throw.
And she's 47% on the year, the team at 54. But these are the times when they count, and one that you'll certainly, this is another sophomore that Coach Wagner has right here.
Second free throw is also good. Coming up big during crunch time. She now has 9, and the lead is 2. And Chittard goes to the 2-3 zone. Wilson up top. You can see that offense slowing a little bit, standing a little bit more during this zone. Nice recovery by Beasley to save from the over and back. She'll get it on the wing. Back to Wilson.
Step in, get that ball screen on that high. The wing step in really is going to open a lot. Here goes the three.
Skip pass short. Battle for the rebound. Beasley gets it. And then Coach Finn had the awareness to call a timeout before a travel or a jump ball, and it'll be a 30-second timeout. Fans, don't miss a game. If you miss any of this action, catch the replay on our YouTube page. It's IndianaSRN, where archives are always on the stream. With IndianaSRN, you always have a front row seat. Great Coach Wagner changing defensive schemes. Possession to possession. There they go from the man at the beginning of overtime to the 2-3. You can see that Irish offense. It'll become a little more stagnant. Had a nice skip screen, though, and a skip pass for a 3, a little bit short.
No, it's been great action, not only the second half, but then certainly halfway through this overtime as well. Both teams answering each other, getting some different looks. And Cathedral is out of timeouts. Chittard only has 1 left. You probably wouldn't expect anything more. I mean, like I said, these two teams played each other a few weeks ago. 6-point margin. Cathedral winning. We're in the city championship on Cathedral's home court. Both these schools having so many parallels, so many things alike about both these schools, both the athletic programs. Lewis with the knockdown. Wilson.
And there was that ball screen at the top of the zone that got Wilson in scoring position. Caskey down low, can't get it, gets her own rebound, goes up and draws the foul. If this is on Lewis, this is her 5th.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Anna Caskey is a workhorse. What a great post-entry pass. I tell you, she does a great job of establishing herself and really getting wide, strong, holds her post really well. But the thing that we've seen multiple times is following her own shot. She is really a workhorse and does a great job on the boards.
Caskey's free throw is long. She is 0 for 4 from the free throw line. She'll step back, take a deep breath. Tied at 41, a minute 35 left. She eyes the second, and it's in. 42-41. Beasley with the ball. Over to Wilson. Man-to-man defense. Duncan tries to keep Wilson on this side of the court. Klein reverses it the guy into the corner. Cathedral very patient in their offensive man-to-man set here. We're down to a minute left. Coach says run it again. Wilson comes up for the ball reversal.
Still doing a lot of the perimeter without any ball screens. And here you're picking your dribble up. Got to be careful about doing that when you know you're not ready to pass or shoot.
Wilson for three off the back iron. Battle for the rebound. Who did it go off of? They'll say it'll go to Bishop Chittard with 40.7 seconds left. The Trojans have the ball.
And if I'm Cathedral, I'm not fouling right away. I'm in a position where they are shooting. I try to play about 10 or 12 seconds, see if I can get a steal or a turnover, and if not, then I'm going to foul.
And they almost got one. Beasley in the passing lane.
You're still in a position where if there's still 25 to go and you force shooting, that's fine. You still got time for one, if not even two possessions, but you don't want to foul too early. They might cause a turnover.
Chittard is in the bonus, so on a foul, they would go shoot free throws, 2 to be exact. Tregesser pulls up for three. Off the iron, no.
That would have locked it up.
Beasley with the rebound. Up ahead to Lewis. She catches and scores. Taylor Lewis puts Chittard or Cathedral up with 1 point with 13 seconds.
You got to get downhill. They're shooting as well.
Left-hand scoop by Brzai, no good. Lewis gets the rebound. And she is fouled.
Oh, wow. Olivia had the look that she wanted on that. There's no doubt. Just didn't drop. You can tell just the emotion on her face. She realizes the opportunity that she had there as well. Really nice move. Just laid off a little bit hard. Got to certainly feel for her on that. Still not over. I mean, next one they're fouling, or excuse me, they're shooting, so Chittard has to foul right away.
So this is only the fourth team foul, as the foul was called on number 10, Alex Kendall. It's her third foul.
Yeah, Chittard cannot allow but less than a second off this clock. They have to have somebody around the ball. This is a situation where you play behind, you allow your girl to catch it, but immediately you foul to try to maximize your clock. Even if they hit both of them, it's still a one-possession game, and you still have about 4 seconds to work with.
Try to get a steal, and then obviously
both teams out of timeouts.
Both
too
teams,
here, Clark.
which is a big factor.
This is where, in some ways, as much as you do, you can, as much as I say without the timeouts, I kind of retract what I say. You're almost hard denying to try to see if you can get a five count.
Face guard, switch screens. Here we go.
Nonetheless, if the ball gets inbound, Chittard has to be in a position to foul immediately.
Tiana Guy will throw it inbounds. And did he get a 5 seconds call?
Foul.
They're going to call a holding foul on the outside official.
That's okay. That's okay, because you do that, and they're shooting, and no time has ran off the clock. So not really a bad. I mean, in one side of it, you were almost at a 5 second call, but you're also at a position where no time comes off the clock. She's got to hit both of them. And who's at the line here? Is it Lewis?
And number 13,
Wilson.
Jada Wilson comes into this game
78%.
So who you want at the free throw line?
Absolutely is.
She'll
need both.
She'll get 2 shots. This would be her first attempt.
And that can be a little bit of detriment too, not being at the line all night.
She misses the first.
This still doesn't hurt him to a certain degree. 5 seconds to go. You're probably not, you might be able to advance the ball up pretty quick, but you're also in a position where if you hit this, worst thing could have happened would have been a tie. Now it could be a win with a 3.
Second one drops. Timeout by Chittard, a full timeout. We'll keep it here.
I thought the extra overtime period. I don't think they put those on the clock. You're right.
So the overtime allows for 2 additional timeouts. So Chittard's last timeout, 5 seconds left, 4.9 to be specific.
And even though that doesn't seem like a lot of time, it really is. I mean, you want to try to do your best if you're Chittard to be able to inbounds this ball at least at your opposite free throw or in the keyhole area to where you shorten it. But with that, you can easily advance the ball with five dribbles within 5 seconds to get a shot. Most times in girls basketball, the speed can be a little bit different, but there's no doubt that they have enough time to advance this ball to get them a good look. The biggest thing is going to be, do they execute what Coach Wagner's drawing up? If you're Coach Finn and the Irish, you've got to be in a position where you're forcing them to catch the ball in front of you and trying to lengthen the floor. You can't stress that enough to use more of the clock.
And if you're Cathedral, you want to play aggressive but also not foul, because
great point.
If they foul, you're going to be shooting 2 free throws.
Yeah. You just want token pressure. You don't want to get too antsy on this.
We'll throw it back to Duncan. 3.
Plenty of time.
2.
Plenty of time.
Rezai for 3 and the win. He got it! It's good! Rezai hits it! She hits a 3!
They're storming the court here in Cathedral.
Chittard hits it! Olivia Rezai!
What? And who else probably should have done it when she had a chance to win it in regulation with the layup and missed it?
Let's take a look at the replay. Craig, here's the drive and kick.
I told you there'd be plenty of time, and she had a great look. Squared her feet, stepped into her shot. As tough as it is for Cathedral, you got to feel great for not only Chittard, but for Olivia Rezai, who, again, missed the, you say easy layup, but you could tell the emotions. So being at the low and then being at the high end of that, and a way to get the championship on the home court of the Irish.
Congratulations to the Bishop Chittard Lady Trojans, who have fought all game, led comfortably in the first half, led by 13 at halftime, but needed overtime to take down Cathedral as the Irish battled back in the second half. Let's look at it one more time, Craig. The three-pointer to win the game.
When you did this for Cathedral, they did exactly what you want, but you got to channel her more to the outside, and then they left. Any player can't be left open, especially when they get an open look like that. Great execution, and what a huge knockdown shot by Olivia Rezai. And again, what a great game. Everybody thought Cathedral was out of this. They fought back, great resilience, but certainly, it's a bad way to lose, but certainly a shout out to Chittard for holding on and getting the city championship here at Cathedral High School.
What a great high school game. Again, Chittard, the Indianapolis City Alliance champions for 2024. And what a great game by our producer, Greg Smith, by our cameraman, Troy Darengowski, and by my partner, Craig Cox. This is Clark Chafin. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.
All good.
That was fun. Coxie, you're awesome.